Going over to the political part podcast of Google admitting that they censored Americans and deplatformed creators on the behest of the Biden-Harris administration. Now, this brought us thanks to Representative Jim Jordan. He says, quote, breaking, due to our oversight efforts, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform. But that's not all. YouTube has also admitted that the Biden administration censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong, confirms that the Biden administration wanted Americans censored for speech that did not violate YouTube's policies, detailed when YouTube began rolling back censorship policies on political speech after House Judiciary Committee began its investigation, states that public debate should never come at the expense of relying on authorities, they promise to never use third-party fact checkers, warns that Europe's censorship laws target American companies and threaten American speech, getting 11,000 likes, which, yeah. Let's see, I'll keep going, but yeah, he says, over the past few years, we have covered massive scandals relating to big tech censorship. They say, under the White, again, now we have definitive proof. During the Biden-Harris administration years, under the White House pressure, YouTube changed its policies to censor political debate on the COVID and elections. Today, YouTube admits that censorship pressure was wrong and unacceptable. Well, yeah, they say that now. Now, to make amends to the American people, and because of our work, YouTube is rolling back its censorship policies on political speech, including topics such as COVID and elections. Yeah, after everyone got the jab. What does this mean? Whether you are established YouTube presence with a massive following, like Dan Bongino, or just starting out to express political views, you will have the opportunity to come back to the platform if you were censored for political speech. This is another victory in the fight against censorship. In 2024, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg wrote to the committee a letter admitting Biden-Harris administration pressured Facebook to censor Americans. Facebook censored Americans. Facebook throttled the Hunter Biden laptop story. Which, again, it keeps going on more and more. Massive win. Yeah, that's great. Now, maybe I sound a little bit more pessimistic than usual. It's because, well, yeah, Republicans are shaking their finger. Google, don't you do that. How dare you? You're bad, Google. So what? Is the CEO of Google getting fired? Is he? There's no cliche Republicans. They're yelling, but there's no consequences. And again, I do like some of the work Jim Jordan has done. It's great that they have concrete proof that this happened. That's good. You proved yet a conspiracy theory proven true. And yeah, YouTube is worse. Especially if you critique certain things, they throttle your channel comically. Now, again, I have no exemplar speaking abilities. I know I joke that I speak faster than Ben Shapiro, and, well, I stutter worse than Joe Biden trying to climb upstairs. It's the thing I'm working on. And yet there's some of my videos where they get 0 views. There are instances where YouTube will disable the feature in which, if you go to the YouTube search bar, usually it'll show you the channels you follow and say new video. There are certain times a year where they take that away from my channel. Now, that feature is never there for creators like Mark Dice, who is very much a political commentator on the right wing. He never has that feature. Other channels like Tim Pool and Timcast RL always have that feature where if you go to the search bar, it'll say new video by this guy. A nice little blue dot will appear with that notification in the YouTube search bar. Sometimes that just completely goes away. I don't know, it's because you're critiquing a 3-letter acronyms, or it's because you're critiquing, the LGBT, but that'll just go away. Other times videos will get 0 views, which, again, I'm not perfect. I'm not the best YouTuber, obviously. However, to get 0 views, I would argue is nearly statistically impossible. I got over 5,000 subscribers. And I know they're not going to watch every single video, but 0 views on a video? That, again, seems statistically impossible. Now, the issue is, how will they actually enforce anything against Google or YouTube, which is owned by Google Alphabet? Again, certain creators are absolutely being throttled because of their political speech. I think that should be illegal. I mean, at most, Google will they have to pay a fine? How is it, 200 billion? They make so much money. Like, we're talking billions every year, sorry. A fiscal consequence means nothing to Google. Absolutely nothing. What would actually hurt them is their ability to operate in the United States. What if they were to force the company to open their algorithm? What if they actually force the company to not blacklist channels or not throttle channels? Again, I think everyone should have an equal opportunity for speech on the YouTube platform. There are some instances where, again, a lot of your views come from YouTube suggesting your videos, not just showing your current subscribers that, hey, you've got a new video, which they also sometimes disable those notifications. That's a big contributing factor of channel growth. It's one of the reasons why Steven Crowder's YouTube channel hasn't grown in years, yet on Rumble, he's grown exponentially. They blacklisted his channel years ago. If you look at the statistics, it hasn't grown at all. But the views and the comments are, they grow. There's a lot of shady things at the YouTube that I have a great disdain for. Unfortunately, is the only viable product or platform, bar none. In Rumble, in, 3 years, I made about $18. And again, obviously I'm not doing this for the money. It's a passion project. I believe in it. But on YouTube, and again, it's not the biggest amount of money, but it's also, to me, it's good. About $40, maybe $40, $45 per month on the YouTube channel per month. Now, again, it's kind of funny because I don't make money because I buy YouTube ads to try to promote the channel, which they also, in many cases, strike down. Fascinatingly enough, yeah, you see a lot of other channels talk about politics on their ads. They want to prove mine. It's one of those things where, interesting how the Daily Wire has never been censored on the YouTube. Really a coincidence, I'm sure. Or perhaps, more accurately, they're on a list of approved folks who are allowed to speak. Nearly everyone else has been censored on the YouTube, but not them. That's interesting to me. But again, YouTube has a monopoly. Rumble is not viable, especially if you're starting off a channel. The only way to grow is buying a lot of ads to get it out there. They don't even have an algorithm on Rumble. Rumble is the best when it comes to the free speech. They'll host your content. But again, I think they need to do a lot of things to improve the quality of the app and everything. But right now, it's really YouTube or nothing from a viable perspective if you actually want to start a content creation. And Republicans are saying, oh yeah, you're bad. We proved you broke the law. Great. What now? So again, hopefully they'll do something. But again, one of my videos where I talked about I talked about COVID. I talked about things that were put into vials. I did not mention my personal opinion on those types of substances I didn't clarify my opinion on any of those things. I kept it. I literally just read the state of Kansas is bringing a lawsuit against this company for this substance in this vial. YouTube took down my video, gave me a strike, and forced me to take one of those bullshit re-education videos where I promised not to say anything that was medical misinformation. Where, again, I didn't. I simply said, here's a lawsuit that is being filed by the state of Kansas. And I find this interesting. And YouTube took that down quick. And again, if you get 3 strikes, your channel's gone forever. And you got a probation period when you got that first strike. There's 2 strikes, you can't post for a week. And again, the rules of YouTube are so convoluted and bullshit, it's worse than the IRS tax code, which is saying something. And again, my theory is it's made to be opaque by design so they can choose to enforce the law or the rules when they choose to. More accurately, only target people who are libertarian, in the middle, and or on the right. Again, Jim George saying, oh yeah, YouTube's in trouble. Are they though? Now YouTube is crawling back to the government. You know why? Because other countries are threatening their ability to operate as a business. Now, Trump, I'm pretty pessimistic, but I would think it'd be a good idea for Trump to say, okay, you lose your countries, you want to do business with the best economy on the planet, the United States, we got the best buyers, they got $1 trillion credit card debt, they don't care, they'll swipe that card to buy that cheap Chinese crap. Maybe more of those Labubu dolls that idiots keep buying for some reason. But if you want to do business with America, you gotta play by our values. We only do business with folks, the folks who share our values. That means freedom of speech. That means you're not going to censor Americans. You're going to let the X operate in your country. If you try to censor Americans, or if you try to find Americans for the mummies or the memes, I will come down to you with a thunderous of effort. I don't think Trump will say that, but that would be effective, I believe. If Trump were to say, all right, we want freedom of speech to extend beyond the U.S. borders. We want American businesses to make a profit in other countries, as they want to make profit in our countries by selling their products, goods, and services. Trump, why does he propose, all right, if you try to censor Americans on our tech platforms like, YouTube, Rumble, X, we're not going to do business with you, Brazil. We're not going to do business with you, China. Again, the U.S. is one of the best economies on the planet. They are so desperate to do business with us. They want to sell us their products. We buy them in droves. So that's why the tech companies are all of a sudden, people are wondering, why is Mark Zuckerberg getting dinner with Trump, committing to spending billions of dollars in infrastructure and employees? It's not because he's altruistic. It's because, again, big tech needs the U.S. government now, because other countries are cracking down. Now, again, I would argue these other countries are third world hellholes. They're dictatorship. They actually are trying to shut down free speech. In the UK, they're sending people to jail. They're actually punishing meme makers greater than people who hurt women and children in the UK. That's how rudimentary and pathetic that country's become. So again, big tech needs the United States now more than ever, which is a very, very unusual case because, again, for decades, again, they really didn't need any help from the U.S. government just beyond, Section 230 is staying out of the way and letting them operate. But now big tech needs some U.S. government muscle globally. Because, again, otherwise, these are huge markets for big tech all over. Their profits will plummet. And their stocks subsequently will plummet as well. So it'll be interesting. What will the U.S. government do to maybe help these big tech companies overseas? Now, one of the comments, one of the first ones comes to us thanks to Paul Zupa saying, quote, what legal consequences will Google face getting 202 likes? What? Maybe send the YouTube, maybe send the CEO to jail. Again, they broke the law. They censored Americans. How are they not being put into court? The government had them do their dirty work. And at the end of the day, I suspect what? They'll fine them a couple $1 million, which again, YouTube is a multi-billion-dollar company. Trillion, it's $1 trillion, the company's valued in trillions. Even a $1 billion fine wouldn't dent Alphabet Google. That would be a slap on the wrist for them. To me, it would be about changing actions. Now, you have Thick Egg Shell saying, quote, amidst the Biden administration's censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. Well, that's great to say that they admit, but why didn't they raise awareness when their pressure was applied? Good question. We all know the answer is because they agreed with the Biden-Harris administration because they're on the same side as Democrats, getting 219 likes, which, yep. When you look at the donations from tech companies, not just the businesses, but the individuals, 97% all donate to Democrats. Luke Rukowski says, YouTube deleted a bunch of my videos. Anyway, someone can someone help me get them back? He 126 likes, which again, that's Luke Rukowski. And his hashtag is Luke We Are Change. And he's definitely one of my favorite creators. And again, that's why it's very important to back up all of your data and never rely on the cloud. Because cloud can and will rain or piss on you, depending on how crass you want to be. Ian Miles Chung says, quote, reinstate my channel and hundreds of others, please. This needs to happen as soon as possible. We all deserve a voice, not just one approved by the corrupt Biden administration. True, getting 45 likes. Let's see. The conservative alternative says, quote, isn't that kind of wild that the left spent 10 years trying to censor conservatives, yet they still lost the 2024 election? The harder they try to censor us, the louder our voices become, getting 234 likes, which they also outspent Trump. Was it 2 to 3 to 1? It was just comical. Kamala Harris spent over $1 billion and still lost. Let's see. Mary Grace says, quote, is Google going to reimburse the creators who had their revenue streams yanked as a direct result of the government censorship? These people did not violate the terms of service, getting 127 likes. They should. Donut Operator simply says, what the F, getting 800 likes. Chuck says, I will translate. Google is sorry they got caught, not their actions. Google will censor again as soon as another Democrat becomes president. You're welcome. Getting 2.3 thousand likes and yeah. And you have a tweet from Kamala Harris from 2019 says, quote, look, let's be honest, Trump's Twitter account should have been suspended. Got 5 likes. GOP and me says, okay, the Google admitting the censorship. When will we arrest the government officials who violated our First Amendment rights? I mean, yeah, that got 210 likes. They're traitors. I would argue they need to be taken to court and given an appropriate punishment. We should actually punish traitors back in the day. Seems like we don't. In fact, if you sleep with a spy, you just get to keep your job, like, Mr. Eric Swalwell, which is a comically stupid name, almost as bad as a name like Topping. Oh, wait, but nevertheless, you have Jack Daly saying, quote, you and your bullshit letters, without fines or criminal wrongdoing, this is nothing more than just another whoopsies. We're so sorry, Jester from YouTube. We're the Scapless Congressman, getting 728 likes. 764 likes, going up like a stock. And again, even a fine would be nothing. Once you get to a certain point in business, again, Alphabet is one of the most successful businesses in history. Again, they deserve the revenue. They changed the world. I would argue some days, depending on when you ask me, for the worst. But again, they do. It's a great opportunity. I think they kind of messed it up, obviously. But Again, a fine for Google means nothing. Really, I think they need to open up their algorithm, be more transparent. Someone should be held accountable. But yeah, I don't think any of that will happen. Let's see. Choose Liberty says, but anyways, we prefer Rumble video. Sorry, not follow. Sorry, it's a picture of Nick Fuentes flipping off the camera, getting 222 likes. Which again, Rumble is the best video platform in terms of free speech. They don't censor you. But again, it's not viable as a platform for creators unless you're already very, very large and established and you have your audience, you're moving it over. In terms of building an audience is extremely difficult. I mean, even in the same amount of time period on YouTube versus Rumble, I still have, was it like 500 something subscribers on the Rumble? And a lot of them are bots. And I only got some subscribers because I paid for ads. In terms of paying for ads and getting subscribers and having those subscribers stay and watch for a long time, YouTube's been infinitely more effective than Rumble. So again, Rumble's great, but it's just not viable yet. Let's see. Teehee says, quote, why is this just being restored and no one is being held accountable? Getting 44 likes. Let's see. Trying to see if there's anything. A lot of people saying like, hey, I've been censored. I'm willing to testify. But again, let's see here. Spinach brah. I never heard someone so passionate about spinach. Nevertheless, he says, I like my spinach. Well, an accurate description of the profile. Mr. Spinach Bra says, quote, unban Nick Fuentes. They got 1.2 thousand likes. Which, yeah. Now, it is weird. There's a phenomenon on YouTube which he is banned, and it used to be for years his clips were banned. Now you have a lot of people who are posting clips of Nick Fuentes, and they're reacting to. Some of them are just a guy sitting and watching. It's not really reaction to the material. I guess legally speaking, you are changing it, so it's not copyright infringement. But nevertheless, YouTube is allowing those. I do wonder if that is because YouTube is more and more worried of ramifications. Because again, years ago, they would not allow that. So you are seeing some changes at YouTube, though I would argue, of course, not enough. But let me know what you think. Do you think YouTube will ever actually change? Will they go back to pro-censorship as soon as a Democrat gets in power? And what type of punishment do you think would be effective for YouTube to actually change their policies and actually how they operate? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone, everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.